This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1046, Jealousy in Open Relationships, by Sara Stanizai of ProspectTherapy.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Optimal Relationships Daily with me, your personal narrator, Greg Audino. I am here with you every day of the week to read some of the best relationship-oriented blogs and books around, and on Saturdays, I answer your questions about relationships in our Q&A episodes. And today, it's my pleasure to introduce another new author to the show, Sara Stanizai and her team over at Prospect Therapy, an LGBTQ+ affirming therapy practice based out of Long Beach, California. They've got a great catalog of powerful articles that we're really excited to read from, and today we'll start with this one about jealousy in open relationships. So let's get right into it and start optimizing your life. Jealousy in Open Relationships by Sara Stanizai of ProspectTherapy.com. Every relationship requires three huge factors to be successful: communication, trust, and respect. You're not the only person with skin in the game, so you need to have a level of faith in someone else. You have to believe that they'll respect you and your boundaries. This can take a lot of work within two people. So, how does trust happen in an open or polyamorous relationship? Many people assume that jealousy doesn't exist in an open relationship, or that people don't have the right to be jealous when they're committing to multiple people in various ways. But this forgets a key part of all relationships. Hello, there are humans involved. Humans have feelings, needs, and wants. People in open relationships do experience jealousy, and it's completely valid. But how do you work through these feelings, especially if you are new to non-monogamy? Understanding non-monogamy. Before we dive into how to work through jealousy in any relationship, it's important to understand what that even means. There are so many different terms and types of relationships under the consensual non-monogamy, CNM, or ethical non-monogamy, ENM, umbrella. We use the words ethical or consensual to indicate that the non-monogamy is above board, and that participants in the relationship are informed about expectations and commitments. Sounds like the kind of thing monogamous relationships could use, am I right? Rather than seeing this as a type of monogamy light, however, think of non-monogamy as a fundamentally different way of viewing relationships. Many people come to CNM through wanting to spice up their relationship. But there is more to it than that. People who embrace CNM essentially decenter the primary monogamous relationship as the ultimate goal of relationships. Exploring the nuances of CNM would be a whole separate blog post, coming soon. But it's important to understand the wide range of experiences among monogamous and non-monogamous partners. Open relationships are not necessarily the same as polyamorous ones. There can be a lot of variations in this realm. Open relationships may typically involve a monogamous couple who mutually agree to have physical relationships or encounters with other people. These outside relationships may usually be casual and non-committal. Polyamorous couples are often in a committed relationship with one another, but each partner has the freedom to have other committed relationships. The other committed relationships may intertwine with one another, or each one may be separate. Some couples are swingers, meaning the couple is monogamous, but they have agreed upon physically intimate excursions with other people. It's important to know what each of these terms means for you and your partner or partners. You'd be surprised how often people use words differently and don't realize it. Boundaries in open relationships. For literally every type of relationship, from romantic to familial and everything in between, boundaries are important. So, just like any other relationship, open ones require rules and boundaries. This can be a little confusing, because you may think that because there's intimacy with other people involved, you don't have a right to feel jealous or hurt in the relationship. But this definitely isn't true. When you enter an open relationship, you set boundaries just like you would in a monogamous one. It's important that you and your partner set rules that you are both comfortable with. For example, you may be okay with your partner having casual flings, but you don't want to see their partners. This may be a firm boundary. So, what happens if they cross that line and bring one of their partners home while you're watching Netflix on the couch? While they aren't doing anything wrong by being intimate with another person, they are in the wrong for disregarding your boundary. In this example, you have every right to be upset, and you may feel jealous as well. But the last thing you ever want to do is push these feelings away. You might think that because you signed up for an open relationship, you are not allowed to be upset. Your emotions are valid, period, end of story. But it definitely means that a conversation with your partner is needed. Coping with jealousy. So, now you feel jealous. What do you do with that? When you feel jealousy in an open relationship, it doesn't mean that you are in the wrong or aren't good at being poly. But you have to face those feelings and get to the root cause. Don't hold back your feelings. Instead, initiate a conversation with your partner. Explain to them why you're upset, focusing on your feelings and using language in the first person, like, "I felt hurt and jealous when you crossed that boundary we set," and suggest that you revisit and reestablish your boundaries and rules as a couple. No relationship can succeed without each partner's needs being met. But when the dynamics can be a little more complicated, such as an open relationship, you may need to communicate more directly to ensure your needs are met. When you feel jealous, remember that you're experiencing something normal and natural. The most important thing you can do in any situation? Trust your gut. If something feels wrong, then it probably is wrong. This doesn't mean that your relationship isn't working. It just means that you need to mutually reevaluate your needs and boundaries as a couple. Be patient. Building trust takes time. Whether you're in an open relationship or a poly relationship, trust doesn't happen in a relationship overnight. It will take time for both of you to establish the intimacy and faith required to trust your partner. We're human, so you both may make some mistakes along the way, but that happens. Remember to be patient not only with yourself, but also with the process of building trust. Over time, you will become more adjusted to negotiating non-monogamous relationships, if that's what you decide you want. Remember, there are as many ways to be in a relationship as there are people. You and your partner or partners can decide what works best for you. Feelings of jealousy, resentment, avoidance, and all the other intimate feelings may come up, but you actually have more partners and more communication skills to handle them. Open and polyamorous relationships are great for many people, but only when everyone is on the same page. If you aren't sure where to start when you're setting boundaries, or you need help working through trust issues, consider seeking couples therapy and relationship counseling to help establish firmer boundaries in your relationship. You just listened to the post titled Jealousy in Open Relationships by Sara Stanizai of ProspectTherapy.com. And just a reminder, everyone, if you dread looking at your credit card statements, you're not alone. Debt can feel crippling, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Our new partner, Upstart, can help you on your path to financial freedom. Upstart is the fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan, all online. Whether it's paying off credit card debts, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment. Unlike other lenders, Upstart considers your income and current employment to find you a smarter rate for your loan. After just a 5-minute rate check, that's even quicker than an episode of ORD, mind you, you can see your rate up front for loans between $1,000 to $50,000. So find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/ORD. That's upstart.com/ORD. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Again, go to upstart.com/ORD. Some really great new ground covered today on the show, which we thank Sara for. And a little bit more about Prospect Therapy and their approach. They are an LGBTQ+ affirming psychotherapy practice that offers quality mental health services to individuals, couples, children, and families. Their guiding principles are integrity, generosity, and enthusiasm, and they support these principles through transparent decision-making, promoting community visibility and access to care, and affirming all identities. Each of their therapists is LGBTQ+ affirming. They have lived experience and identify as part of the communities they serve, and regularly participate in high-quality training, education, and consultation with experts in affirming clinical care. And it goes without saying that they create some really quality work, which we are so excited to share more of going forward. Now, For many people who prefer and have only been exposed to monogamous relationships, polyamorous relationships or open relationships can be confusing. And while this article did a great job of shedding light on some intricacies of those relationships, it also reminded us of the common elements of each relationship: communication, trust, and respect, as was mentioned at the beginning. It's so important to realize and lead with the fact that our commitments within relationships transcend the people we're with and can instead be about the bonds we form and the qualities we exhibit. There was a lot of great talk in this post about the value of communication, and as I've said before 100 times, this is possibly the best focal point to have within your commitments. Not only does open communication breed respect and trust, but it's also something that we can always control and make choices towards. We don't know if we'll love someone forever. We don't know if we'll want to be with them forever. When we commit to doing the work. And the best work you can commit to is regular communication. Letting your partner know that while you can only have so much control over your feelings, what you will always do is keep them abreast of what those feelings are. This helps partners to grow in the same direction and support one another through life's ebbs and flows. We may not always like what we hear, but even if that's the case, there's a much better chance to find a resolution and mutual understanding while these changes are in their infancy. So, thanks a lot to everyone at Prospect Therapy for joining our roster of contributors, and thanks to all of you listeners for welcoming their first post. We have reached the end, so it's time to wrap this thing up, but I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I do hope you'll join me tomorrow as we continue along the journey of better relationships. That's where your optimal life awaits.